Now I know what you're thinking, Ryan, you've shrunk. But you'd be mistaken, I'm actually Nick, another one of the movie nights. And today we're going to be talking about Thunderball, the fourth entry into the James Bond franchise, directed by Terrence Young, who directed Dr. No, and my personal favorite so far, From Russia with Love. But let's not talk about that, let's talk about Thunderball. And as always with the James Bond franchise comes the original song, this one being named after the movie itself, Thunderball, and being sung by Tom Jones, the man himself, of fame of It's Not Unusual and What's New Pussycat, and he also has a cover of Kung Fu Fighting.
You're really passionate about that, weren't you?
I'm very passionate about Tom Jones. Thunderball came out in 1965 and follows James Bond on his newest mission to the Bahamas, where he is trying to stop the evil villain Largo from stealing 2 nuclear warheads. This movie was definitely a lot of fun in that it really leaned more into the cheesiness of James Bond films. You kind of start to see that when Goldfinger comes around, but this movie opens up with James Bond in the middle of a mission and basically escapes on a jetpack. And then there's a giant undersea battle toward the end, which rivals that of Aquaman, if you haven't seen that. Really good stunt work for a movie that came out in 1965, especially to be orchestrating giant underwater scenes that, probably in a pool or a tank of some sort, but just to be able to take the stunt work to that next level was very much an interesting concept on it. One of my personal favorite elements of this one was actually the villain himself, Largo. He is very reminiscent to Spectre's head, what's that guy's name? Blofeld. He's kind of his number 2, second in command, which in the Austin Powers movie is kind of parodied in that where the number 2 henchman does have a eye patch, much like Largo does. As well as Largo having a pool filled with sharks! Not with laser beams though, but that's fine. I definitely really enjoyed this one. In terms of the 4 Sean Connery movies that we have watched so far, I would probably rank it as my second favorite. Like I said earlier in the video, I am a big fan of From Russia with Love. It was very reminiscent of kind of like old adventure films. I got a very like Indiana Jones vibe from it, which I really dug, and Thunderball was really good in what it was. I know a lot of people really like Goldfinger, and when they kind of lean in more in the cheesiness on that end of it, but I thought Thunderball kind of handled the cheesiness of James Bond at this point with the stunt work and the story to make it a overall engaging film. The sets were really cool. Definitely, I like the islandy location of the Bahamas, and James Bond outfits, as always, were on point in this one as well. As always, thank you for tuning in and watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button wherever that pops up on the screen, and don't forget to follow us on social media on Instagram as Movie Nights and Twitter and Facebook as Nights_movie. Alright, well there we go then.